Welcome friends. Today I'm going to discuss about the Spring Boot validation. Simple validation like it's a mandatory field is mandatory or it's a not empty or not null. That's a simple thing I'm going to discuss. And what happen if we don't use the Spring Boot validation? Like the value what we are passing in the during hitting that web service, and it will going to database and will getting throwing error, right? So instead of that, if we validate at the form level like UI level, then it will be very helpful, right? And apart from that, finally what I have done, that if we that uh, don't give that sufficient valid data, that if it is it's empty or null, if we pass it, then we will get like method argument validation exception. So I have handled it by custom validation. Okay, so here I have method argument validation exception. It has been handled here. At the rate controller advice, I have done it and override it and handle argument not valid. So I have handled it. This is a very simple, like whatever the message what I have given here. For example, here I have given that particular message, so same message will be visible here. Okay, so let me show it before coming into let me show the flow. This is the my Spring Swagger. So it's implemented using Swagger, and it's here is the reminder, is the model, and it's the controller. Here is the simple controller. What annotation you need to use, right? Just simple use that at the rate valid. Okay, in the controller part, after request body, that reminder, make it validated. Okay, so in the validated here, I have given that custom message, right? So you can check for not null, not empty. So not blank, I have checked for the annotation not blank. So if it is a blank or empty or null, so you will get that custom error message, right? So this is a default message you will get. Okay, now after that, what I have done, so if I give it, if I don't handle exception, you will get long exception, right? So here it is like method argument exception. It's a long message, it's not readable, right? To make it readable, what I have done, during exception happen, right, it will come that method argument validation, method argument not valid exception. So you will get that method argument not valid exceptions. So that message validation, so from there I am going to capture the default message whatever present here, that reminder descriptions here is mandatory, type is mandatory. So I have captured. So when you are getting error, right, you are not getting single error, right? For if you have thousands field there, you will obviously will not get single field one by one, right? You will get the error message all at a glance, right? So what I have done, so from that exceptions, what you are going to do, this is the list. From the list, you are going making that field errors is the list of the errors, right? If you click here, you will see that list of the field errors, right? Is the list of the field errors. So it's a stream map and all that default message, right? X lambda error message, all that message, and finally collect. So what I have done from the EX, we are collecting the only the error message, right? That error message what it's throwing here, if it is a not blank, then on null or empty, it will throwing that message, giving that message. And finally prepare the list, that's errors, right? And now I have prepared that map, right? Simple map, say linked hash map, and here put first timestamp status and errors, and it's this is a finally errors, right? List of the errors, and put it inside the map. And in the returning that response entity, body, header, and the status. And the status, what is the status here, is the status http status. So whatever the status you get, so everything you get it. So it's just very I mean generic, right? For any thing you can use that. Okay, now let me show it. Okay, Since I have used Swagger here, so here controller, and what is that in the controller? This is a reminder API v1 reminder username, right? So it's the post. Okay, so here if I click here, you will get entirely, right? But reminder id is the generated value, right? You don't need to put it. Okay, so reminder id, you don't have to put it. And here, so you give like this. So I have given all that one, so it's a happy path, right? There is no error message. Okay, now for exception, right? So reminder description, reminder type. So let me give reminder description null, or that's empty. So you will get that reminder description is mandatory. Okay, and if you give reminder type, now you see that one error message. Now next you will get two error message, right? And if you give so reminder type, I have given reminder type. If I just give the reminder type, only reminder description is there. Okay, if I give that reminder description, so you will get no error message. Okay, so now I have removed reminder type, so it's a nothing is there, so reminder type is mandatory. So this way I have handled the exceptions here. In the exception handle part, so you will see that timestamp status. What's the status here? 400 timestamp here, and the error also. So list of the error, you can find it. Okay, so now the question is, what is the use of this custom exception, right? So suppose if I don't use that custom exception, what happened here? Okay, and say what I am going to do, I'm going to uh, so I have comment it out. Okay, so I have comment it out, and now there is only valid and the reminder. So how it will happen, and how it will behave, right? So now there is no custom exception. Okay, so here, since I have used Spring Boot dev tool, so it will automatically build. Okay, so here, so if you have, so it's first check with the happy path, so there is no issue, and give that reminder description as a blank, how it will showing. So it's not readable, you see, it's not readable, so it will be big error message, right? Bad request. So it's you will get that default message, reminder description is mandatory. Okay, and if you give another one, you will get another it's a argument. So it's the argument, bad argument. So first you will get first argument, reminder type is mandatory, and second is the reminder description is mandatory. Okay, so you will get like this. Okay, and the worst more worst thing, like if you don't give that customize message like this. Okay, if you don't give this message, just not blank, you will not also get this message. So it's not user friendly, right? So first I have to identify that reminder descriptions, I have given that message, and also custom global exceptions. So here, if I uncommented it, you will not getting it. Okay, So let's see. You will not get this. I mean, it's not readable error message, right? And now you will get. So let's see. So here, so first go with the happy path, okay, and give that reminder type, and now you will get that custom message, right? Reminder type is mandatory, okay, and also status code. Now also check with that. So you will get reminder type, I mean multiple error message here. So what I have done, so here in the custom global exceptions here, so you can directly use that, okay. This is the very generic way you can utilize it in your own code, okay. And whatever I have discussed here, so here is the controller, and the controller is the API operation is a part of the Swagger, and the post mapping in that it's a transactional, right? For Spring, I have to mention as the transactional for the post operations, and the making it's a valid @valid. So just a simple @valid, and the whether it's a @not blank. Just for the two annotation, you can validate the error message, okay? And exceptions is the very generic exceptions, that custom global exception handler. If you just use it, the timestamp status and all that errors, you captured it, all that error message multiple. So for example, if it's the multiple field exceptions happen that is not valid, then you will get that validations like multiple cases and the reminder type as well as reminder descriptions. So this way you can handle the exception. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much.